Hey Steepers! Due to a few unexpected events, we didn't have time to finish a new episode this week. But rather than leave y'all high and dry, we put together a very fun episode of some of our favorite moments from episodes past. I wanted to start with some of the funniest moments that I really got a kick out of. Take a listen.
I did a Zoom show for some fitness marketing company. I was supposed to do 2 shows, one for their American office at like 11 a.m. and then one for their Asian office at 1 a.m. And I got fired mid.
Hold on. So you did the 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And then they fired you before the 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
This was so dumb. At the time, I was doing this joke on white women. And it was very tame. I wasn't like, white women suck. Basically, the joke is like, I have a white girlfriend so I can make sure she doesn't call the cops on black and brown people. I get an email in the middle of the day that was like, we said Andrew could do whatever, but he only made fun of white women and he didn't make fun of any other race. And I was like, okay.
You're like, there was one joke.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat, but I make a meatball salad is what I call it. And it's a salad with vegetarian meatballs on it, and then I put ketchup and mustard on it. It's a salad dressing.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this meal correctly. So we're starting with a base of lettuce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lettuce, tomato,
Sure.
avocado if I've got it.
Sure.
Sometimes a little bit of sauerkraut because I like to get silly. Sometimes if I was feeling nasty, I would put cheese on it so it would melt over the top, and maybe some frozen peas. And then I would heat all that up in the microwave. And then I throw that steaming pile of shit on top of the cold salad, squirt ketchup and mustard all over it, and then eat it lying down in my bed.
Okay, one day I'm going to have you over for an actual meal.
I don't know if you've seen me do this tip stapling.
I don't love the sound of that.
You don't love the sound of this. It's a staple gun, and you allow people to tip you by stapling the cash to your body. I really love being gross and bleeding. I do a lot of sideshow things like piercing myself, and there's blood, and it's real. But because I style myself to look like a beauty queen and like this delicate angel person, it's even more like wrong to people. Like, why the hell would you do that? And it's like, hey, listen, $100 is $100. You just stapled $100 to my butt. That's great.
It doesn't hurt to take the staples out.
Oh, it sucks. It hurts.
It's
a staple.
Yeah, no, it's
a staple. It's
no,
staple.
I'm getting that. Do you ever turn to your husband and just go, I nailed that? Like that I know was good.
Oh, for sure. If he doesn't react well enough to something, I'll be like, hey man, I just want to let you know.
You need
in
to know
a medical
that was good.
sense, I fucked that up so good. He's also not a musician, so sometimes I kind of joke like, I wish you're a musician so that you could know how fucking good.
I can tell you, I do that. I do that. I wrote a joke once and she was like, oh, I just don't think that's for me. And I go, you don't know enough to know that's actually for everybody. And that was incredible. But
And
like, it's fine.
super well crafted. There's layers to that joke. The way I got into it, the way I got out of it. I mean,
yeah, the rhythm. I was like, literally, it's almost like I
Ooh.
did a halftime swing in the middle of that joke.
Ooh,
But you didn't catch that, and it's fine.
that's right.
I want to write an adult version of the Spot books. Instead of like Spot goes to school, it's like Spot hits a joint.
Oh my
Spot
God,
goes
I
to
can't
prison because he refuses to rat on his friend. I want to see the Spot series where it's like Spot meets The Wire. That's what I want.
I
know?
would pay so much money for that Spot series. I think we should try it. Should we do
I'm
it?
in. I'm in.
Should it-
We'll test it on your son, who will be like, you said Spot free-based? What is free-basing? And I'm like, don't worry, it's not for you. It's not for you.
How long is this injury going to last?
I should be out of the boot in 3 more weeks, probably.
You tore your Achilles. How the hell did you avoid surgery?
Built different.
You see this boy? He's built different.
Yeah, I just have a lot of foot strength.
You
How do
were
like
a pitcher when you played.
I was a pitcher and shortstop.
You do both?
Do both.
Does everyone do more than one?
Built different.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
No, in high school, yeah, you do, because it's like if you're a good player, you want to like bat every game, and then you can't pitch every game, your arm will fall off. Usually we'd have games like Tuesday, Thursday. I would start on Tuesdays, and then Thursday I'd play shortstop.
You wouldn't relief?
I was starting pitcher.
Obviously. Why would you ever be a relief?
Team captain.
Oh, of course you were.
Built different.
Built different until you were cut different.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here with a torn Achilles like I'm a fucking athlete.
I've done a college show where the staff would just leave and the kids are literally begging me for me to go dark. There was this one kid who kept heckling me. And then I would try to talk to him. I'm like, oh, okay, so what do you think? And he wouldn't say anything. And I'm like, hey, man, if you're going to heckle me, at least join this conversation with me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just being an asshole disrupting the show. So talk to me. What, and he goes, I don't want to talk to you. I'll go, okay, let's start with this. What's your name? He goes, John Doe. I'm like, okay, how old are you? He goes, I'm 12. And I go, no, not the ages of your victims. How old are you? The kid's lit up.
Did he shut up after that?
He did. And then he was like, see, you need me to talk because that's the only way you could get a laugh, even though I was getting laughs before.
Yeah.
He was just it was being so annoying to the point where other students were like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, know that kid wasn't going back to hang out with his friends because he didn't have any.
He didn't have any. No.
Who are your celebrity crushes?
I mean, this is so eye-rolling. But like Jason Momoa. He's such this like barbaric energy of, and like my sister-in-law could not be less attracted to anyone. And so she doesn't get it. And I don't know if you saw some of his promos for SNL. Like he's just in the studio, just like being weird in his underpants, like gyrating and screaming and yelling. And I sent it to my family. We have like a group chat. And I was like, this is why I'm single. I stared at Jason Momoa through the bushes eating lunch one time.
Oh.
He was just like eating meatballs with his hands. And I was like, I've never been more turned on.
Honestly, I don't think I've been either.
I actually have it's a not dirty at all OnlyFans.
I'm sorry, what?
I had gotten a DM from a random creepy guy on Instagram, and he was like, when are you going to get an OnlyFans? And that same week, I had to get a boob MRI. So I was like, I wonder what the process is to sign up for OnlyFans. Like, is it difficult? It's not. And then I just put pictures from my MRI, which don't look sexual at all. I got like 4 subscribers to it. Once I saw that people are paying $4 a month and forgot, I'll post something with the dirty title, like me all wet and dirty, and it's a picture of me cleaning up like a spilled drink at work, but they don't know that, so they see the title.
And they're still subscribed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a one-nighter in Costa Rica. It did pay well, but it almost didn't pay. His whole thing was like, we're doing the first international comedy festival. We're not going to put your name on the flyer. We just wanted to be like people like buying tickets. Like, it's going to be great. And I was like, okay. It's a little weird. I keep asking the booker, like, how are ticket sales? He goes, just don't worry about it. Just have fun tomorrow. So then the next day rolls around. The venue is set, 250 seats, 50 tickets sold. And then the booker comes in and goes, oof, you guys saw those numbers. It wasn't good. And I was like, listen, dude, you have a contract with me. You have to pay me. It says that you have to pay me literally exactly as the show's finished. He's like, I don't have the money. And I was like, well, what do you mean you don't have the money? He goes, I just don't have the money. Like, I was expecting all the money to come in through the ticket sales. I was like, I need the amount of money that we agreed on, and you're going to give it. We literally sat in a playground for an hour while he was like texting people. And then he took us to an ATM, and he like stood in front of the ATM for 45 minutes. And then he came out and he said he only has $6. And then I saw him get a loan from a guy. Like, I saw the text message where the guy said, this amount plus this amount, you owe me this amount now, like, get your life together, all this kind of stuff. He didn't know what he was doing. He just thought, I'm going to put on a show. And he was the opener for the show, too.
Of course he was. I knew it.
My mom went through a phase where she got obsessed with green tea. So she was drinking like the purest form of green tea that you could get. And then it turned out she was allergic to it.
No, that can't be
And
true.
she was like, I'll never stay young. I don't know how I'll be staying young anymore.
I know she's not Jewish, but man, she sounds Jewish.
She did marry a Jewish man.
Did she really?
Yes. My mom thinks she's Jewish, like 100%.
Right
They
now.
met on Christian Mingle, though, which is like such a mindfuck.
Wait a minute.
Messianic is what he says he is.
What? I don't know what that is.
You're Jewish, but you believe that Jesus, did some things. But I just remember,
know
like, when
none
my
of the
mom met
things.
him, she was like, it's not strange that he was on Christian Mingle. He's messianic.
And you're like, yeah, oh, why didn't you say that? Obviously. Not to continually talk about your height, but my feeling for you is there any bed that's long enough?
No, I've been getting California Kings. I still have to sleep a little diagonal to not have my feet coming off the end where the monsters are and all that. It's one of those lizard brain things to where it's like, if my foot is off the bed, then I'm more susceptible to predators. Back in Nigeria, my brother, when we were teenagers, he was bitten by a rat. These were Nigerian rats. These are the ones that like work for their keep. They're blowing your toes to try and like soothe you and then they start trying to eat you as they do it. And then this is what, but then it bit him once, and then he woke up immediately. And ever since then, this guy, my size, my height, I mean, bigger than my height, been scared of rats ever since.
You have just given me nightmares I didn't know I could have.
Yeah.
I didn't really start thinking about this until recently, but there's funny translations of Japanese words. For example, like the word for outlet. So we don't have a word for outlet. We use the European word, and it's consento, which I think is the English word for consent. But we have like weird ones. If your tire goes flat, we say your tire got punked, but it's short for punctured.
Oh.
Yeah, not like punk rock.
No, I was thinking Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, yeah, it's actually not pumped. Yeah.
I put a nail in your tire. You just got pumped.
Yeah.
So I thought the Japanese culture predominantly revolves around Ashton Kutcher. Is that not right?
It used to be until the 80s.
Okay, more ancient.
Around like the Meiji era is when Ashton Kutcher was really powerful.
I think about him a lot. Loyal listeners like yourself know that I love playing the Newly Friend game with every guest, even if I almost always get it wrong. Here are some of my favorite moments from the Newly Friend game. What is your favorite Robin Williams movie?
I'll be honest, I don't think this movie holds up.
Okay, so we both said Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Does it not hold up?
If we were to try to make it today, I don't know if it would fly. I feel like our understanding of the nature of like why people cross-dress, delineating between like cross-dressing, drag, and actually being transgender, that conversation has evolved so much that I don't think it would be approached in the same way. I know it's a stage show now, and the point of it is like he just wants to be close to his kids. You know, Sally Field and Pierce Brosnan react kind of justifiably like, this is fucked up.
It was a drive-by fruiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The toughest thing in the world for me is when I am feeling emotionally vulnerable and someone responds to that with stoicism. Think about Good Will Hunting. This girl breaks down being like, I'm so sorry, I love you, tell me you don't love me, and I'll leave. And he goes, I don't love you. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
But that's not stoicism. That's honesty.
No, it wasn't honest. He wasn't being honest.
Yeah, he was.
No, he was not. He absolutely loved her. At the end of the movie, he proves it.
But I think in that moment, he didn't love her.
I don't agree with that either. Ooh. I think in that moment, he was trying to push her away.
Because he loved her so much?
Yes. Should we just quit this podcast and rewatch Good Will Hunting? I have discovered in going back and watching a bunch of horror movies, I lean towards slashers over anything else.
There is something to the tension release kind of ebb and flow musically of like, you can feel, oh, there's a kill coming. You know, you see someone in the shower, you're like, okay, how are they going to get killed in the shower? Or are they not going to? And there's this very nice expectation that plays with your head of like, are they going to do the thing I'm expecting? Are they going to do something different?
Yeah. That's why I hate anytime there's a scene in a movie where it is facing the driver in a car up by the side profile.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, if this doesn't get hit, you just put me through hell. And if it does get hit, what a nightmare.
Because you know that they're going to go through and you're going to see the car coming through the window. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that drives me crazy.
Is there one male actor that's like Meryl Streep level?
Maybe Denzel.
I feel like there's a lot of male actors who are like kind of the same
There's not
level.
the person.
There's not the person.
On the female side of the house, I do think Meryl's kind of on her own island at this point.
Yeah, she's on her own island.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that would be fun. I also think it must be hard when she's on projects because no one will ever tell her, hey, could you go in a different direction for that?
I wouldn't. If I'm directing her, that's like if you're coaching Michael Jordan and you go, I don't love the way that you're doing that.
Exactly.
He'd be like, oh, you don't? Yeah? How about my 6 championships? Do you not like those? I would be scared to direct her, but also I think I would just go for it because, like, what's the worst thing? She's going to be like, you're the worst. I'm like, probably. Probably am. Band in the Bubble was kind of a seminal moment for y'all as a band. I know that there was some controversy around it. How do you look back on all that?
We kind of got pigeonholed a little bit into, like, more of the pop thing. We didn't scream. Screamo was a big deal. Like, Fall Out Boy was like edgier, but still on pop, and My Chemical Romance was like goth rock. But because it kind of got wrapped in this little like MTV, like Band in the Bubble, like reality show packaging, I think a lot of people missed it initially. We got plenty of fans from the MTV thing, not saying we didn't, but there was a faction of people that are like, man, Cartel's sold out. Like they're not part of the scene anymore. A lot of the same people who kind of like panned the record to start with have come up to me over the years and be like, hey, I just got to say, like, Self-Titled's like one of my favorite records. I gave you guys a lot of hell online in reviews for that record. I was wrong. I'm like, thank you.
I don't want to be too controversial. Pudding? Like, what's the story? Pudding? What are we doing here? What are we talking about? Pudding? Come on. You have so many desserts, you're going with pudding? Wow.
Why not? What do you have against pudding?
I don't know. It just reminds me of snack packs from like elementary school. You cut pumpkin pie just because sweet potato pie already does the job.
Yes.
But do you like pumpkin pie?
That's fine.
That upsets me. So you'll defend pudding to the death. Pumpkin pie, you'll just leave to the wayside.
Yes.
I don't understand. Listeners, if you're hearing this, tweet us, email us, Instagram us, send up smoke signals. If you're choosing between pumpkin pie and pudding, what are you choosing? Know that there's a right answer.
There was just this dude in a Beamer just driving like an asshole. And finally we get up to a stoplight and we're right next to each other. I roll down. I'm like, hey man, your turn signal's broken. He goes, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, you're just an asshole. Got it.
Did he try and start shit after you said that?
No, I mean, what's he going to do? He's in a BMW. I'm in a Jeep that I will crash into you. I don't give a shit.
I am watching Girls for the first time. My boyfriend is such a Girls truther and was like, you have to watch it. It's such an important piece of media. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm not watching this because it's such a disgusting show. We can't have sex for like 2 days after I watch too many episodes.
Mm-mm.
But I think the sex scene in Girls are intentionally disgusting.
Yeah, like the scene with Sherry Appleby. I was like, dear God.
I fast forward through many of them.
Okay.
What do you think about sports game proposals?
Horrid.
Yeah. It's tough for them, but it's fun for us. I think the percentage of people in the stadium who turn to the person next to them and they go, can you imagine doing that here?
I remember very early on when Jess and I were just dating, I mean, the first few months of dating, she literally goes, I'd rather die than be proposed to on like a Jumbotron. And I was like, I'm going to do it.
It would be kind of funny to actually get engaged and then go to the game like later that weekend and then do it as kind of like a joke.
I'm going to get like 6, 7, 8 rings and then just like do all the cliches one at a time.
You could put the ring under like 3 hats and start spinning them around and you only end up getting married if she can keep her eyes on the prize.
And then you do a thing where it goes really, really quick.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It mixes them up.
I don't even know if I'll be leaving engaged that day. That's the big piece of it.
That's exciting.
I did not grow up eating traditional white people food.
Okay.
Chicken tenders and burgers. Like I grew up eating like falafel and tahini and now as an adult I love those things. But as a kid I was always like, can I just have like macaroni
You
and
want the
cheese?
thing that you're not being given. You want the thing you can't have.
Can I have tater tots? Like, oh, those look tater tots. What's not to love about a tater tot? So as an adult, some of my problems now are that I don't know how to like order a salad. I'm like, I just wanted to dip something in ranch. Like I'm still stuck.
Love ranch.
I'm stuck.
What do you think the worst possible item could be to SodaStream? Tuna salad.
Milk was the first thing I soda streamed.
How bad was milk SodaStream? Disgusting. It had to have been.
Honestly, of all the stuff that, because it was the first one, and since then I've done gravy, I've done crab.
How do you SodaStream something that's not a liquid?
It ends up sitting at the bottom of the bottle. But you like shove it into the hole, however. It doesn't matter how messy it is. You just get it in there.
Yep.
You can still press down so it does shoot carbon dioxide onto it. And it does make it taste weird. But also the real thing is I just hate tuna salad. So...
Oh, we need to have a conversation. The lightning round, a misnomer given it's anything but speedy, always yields some crazy moments. Here's some of the most fun and most controversial moments from the lightning round. What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
I used to love doing Owen Wilson, wow, like the, oh, wow.
Yeah,
but
wow.
in bed. I thought that was hilarious
I
to
love
do.
that you slipped that in there. You know what, in bed?
Yeah. I don't often do bits in bed, but that one was one
that's
I
a
thought
great
was
one.
pretty funny.
So, like on milk, you have like the date. It has to be chucked out. They
Yeah,
exist
yeah.
because of Al Capone. So it's because of him. Because his cousin or something got sick. So he like bought a dairy mill and made it so you have to have these labels on milk.
Hold on. Al Capone. The Al
Yes.
Capone. The one that we all know.
Yeah, that geezer, yeah.
Yeah, the one who caused a lot of problems. This gentleman is the reason that we all have expiration dates on milk?
Yes.
What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
I have a lot with my boyfriend. I think I pretend like he wants to fuck his dog.
Hold on.
He's
Don't
so
skip
in
past
love with
that.
this dog. He wants to fuck this dog.
And you just say it when other people are around?
Oh yeah, I put up pictures of the two of them like looking deeply into each other's eyes before he got his dog, and he loves his dog. His sister had a dog who I was like, you guys are having an affair. This like big female poodle who would climb on top of him and like make
Big
out.
poodle?
Yeah, and I have all these pictures of them looking like they're like having an affair.
Do an impression of one or both of your parents.
My dad. Okay, my dad. Well, you don't want to play football? Come on. That's how you be a man. You play football.
I feel like you would be very good at football.
I was great at football. I just didn't want to take the mandatory showers because I didn't want anybody to see my pee-pee.
Understood.
Exactly.
If your favorite band is the Beatles, then you need to listen to more bands. It's not that they're overrated, because as much as I want to say the Beatles are overrated, when I listen to them, I go, no, yeah, that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they've become such a lazy bookmark for people. Like, oh, the Beatles. Like, oh, yeah. Is chocolate your favorite ice cream too?
Ew.
There's so much more out there.
Like, have you heard Chumbawamba? Like,
Exactly.
That's yeah.
Have you not heard the Captain and Tennille? Like, you know, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, knock 3 times. You know, that's where I'm at.
I don't think anyone's left-handed.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Tell me more.
You know, I don't actually feel this way, but I tell people this that
I think it's great.
And sometimes they're left-handed. They get so angry, and I never yield. I'm like, yeah, I just don't believe in it. I use the same arguments people use for like faith in God. They're like, it's just in my heart, I know it, and this is how I live in my reality. And you can live in your reality, and everyone's entitled to that. But I just don't believe in left-handed people.
My favorite thing to do to drive people crazy, if someone has an absolutely nutty opinion, I go, oh my God, and you're entitled to that. And it could be really stupid things. Like I had a friend who was just like, yeah, like I don't love pasta. And I was like, and you're entitled to that. And I want you to hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me.
A lot of people do a lot of wrong things.
Yeah. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my controversial opinion. Violence is the answer. You know, we see these Nazis rallying in Florida. Fucking mow them down. I have progressive friends all the time that are like, no, you have to have a trial. No, you don't. No, you don't. I am talking fucking one of those things that flattens out the street from Toontown.
I was just thinking of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah.
Like, I want Christopher Lloyd to come out in his getup, and I want them to fucking steamroll all those Nazis. Goodbye. I'm not even saying like people with bad opinions or people that say fucked up things, or like, I mean like you're rallying in Nazi regalia. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You're done. And the state seizes your belongings. All of your assets go to the underprivileged.
Oh,
yeah. It's disappointing that the left isn't also violent, because that's what the right has on us. They're always going to win because they have the violence, you know?
What is a very controversial opinion that you have?
Human beings need more predators. Like, we have no predators. Like, you know what I mean? There's no natural predators. So now we're all like just busy killing ourselves.
Uh-huh.
But if we were united against like ultra wolves.
Okay, so bears and wolves are not enough, but we
Yeah.
need ultra wolves.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that would make us stronger, or that would just thin out the herd of crazies?
I mean, either is good.
Okay. Great.
I think if Heath Ledger doesn't die, Robert Downey Jr. gets Best Supporting Actor for Tropic Thunder.
Really?
Yeah, that's a crazy one. I know. The Joker was amazing.
It was amazing.
But I think he really committed to the bit in a different way.
But you know what was crazy? Then you look at the Oscars, what was it, 2 years ago? And Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor when it was supposed to be Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was like, Chadwick's going to win this. I know it. And then it went to Anthony Hopkins, and everyone was like,
And that's twice now with Chadwick Boseman and Robert Downey Jr. that a strong black lead has been denied the Academy Award.
So we were just talking about Italy. First of all, what do they eat there? They eat pasta, pizza, bread, cheese, wine, ice cream, gelato.
Yeah.
It's an acid reflux nightmare.
Sure.
I wasn't wild about it. In fact, I actually like New York Italian food better than Italy Italian food.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the heart of it.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's bad. It was delicious. I just threw up for a couple days.
You threw up?
Yeah.
Was it from overeating?
I don't know what it was from. I had a pizza. It was spicy. That night, I threw up all over the beautiful Lake Como.
I love that. You're like, hey, Lake Como, I have something to deposit here. It's not what you were hoping.
I don't like pizza.
You don't like pizza?
I would never get it on my own.
So you ran a show
Yeah.
at a pizza place, which in my opinion was good pizza.
You would never see me eat the pizza. I would always eat the kale Caesar.
Not the pizza.
It's not that I don't like pizza. It's never been like a fun food for me.
Huh. I'll say this, of the controversial opinions we've had, that is kind of a hot take.
Taylor Swift writes the same song.
Tell me more.
So you always notice she has like a cadence to her hit songs. I've noticed just as a songwriter, I'm like, it's always got this like thing to it, but it's got this like little pattern. Like the song Karma is a good example, especially in the chorus of that. You know, ba-da-da-da-ba-ba,
That's the part I know.
ba-da-da-da-ba-ba-da-da-ba-da. Like she always has a little thing, and she's always throwing it to like specific situations. And I just kind of look at that and I'm like, that's calculated. It's genius, but it's calculated for sure. You just don't notice it at first, but it just works. It never not works.
Can you do an impression of one or both of your parents? And the worse the impression, the better.
My mom, I talk to her on the daily. She always wants to pray for me.
Oh, I like that though.
It's
nice.
really sweet. But like Jesus can fix anything. It would be like her motto, I think. But yeah, she will pray over anything. If my dog hasn't taken a shit yet, she's like, okay, baby, bow your head. Is your head bowed? Dear Lord, let my son's dog have the healthiest bowel movement on the face of, like she's
don't get what you don't ask for. Someone could argue like, oh, Jesus is dealing with like probably bigger stuff. But I'm like, you know what though?
Yeah.
You don't know when Jesus might have a second.
Yeah.
Might be like, let's get that dog going.
100%.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the episode. I hope you enjoyed those moments as much as I did. We'll be back to your regularly scheduled programming next week. So until then, happy steeping. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzet, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzet. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.